Give me a D and a G. It's the Dunga Show. It's the Dunga Show.
Hey, dog, your beard's looking flickin' great, my man.
Thanks, Gus. I've been using the Bush Beard Wash.
The what now?
At Bush Beard, they know that every man with a beard is a unique beardo. And that's why they offer a wide range of products to cater to every beard's needs. Whether you have a long and luscious mane or prefer to keep it short and sharp, their products will help you achieve that perfect look.
From the nourishing beard oil and balm to the refreshing beard wash, their products are made with all natural local ingredients to keep that beard healthy, soft, and lustrous. The beard comb and brush are designed to detangle and shape your beard, making sure you always look your best.
At Bush Beard, they're dedicated to providing the best possible grooming experience for all the beardos out there. So why settle for an average beard when you can have a glorious, well-groomed one? Try Bush Beard products today and unleash the full potential of your beard.
Be sure to use Dog and Gus 10 and get 10% off your order.
Bush Beard, the small town brand with the big old Canadian heart. Welcome to the Dog and Gus Show, now on Whitewater Rocks Radio.
Yeah, that's right.
It is.
Yeah. What's going on today?
Nothing.
What do you mean? What are we doing here?
I don't know. What are you doing here?
Well, you told me to come here, and now I'm here.
Oh, yes. And we invited some people to chat with us today.
Nice. Who do we have?
We have Wet for Days.
Hello. How you doing?
Hey.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes, of course. After the show I saw you at the brewery there, Overflow.
Nice.
It was decided that we had to have you on.
Oh,
Yeah, I had no part of it. It was all Dog.
True story.
But I trust him. Because we have a great band here, you know? So where did you guys meet? What's the backstory?
How did we meet? Well, Dee, Deirdre, and I'm Sarah. We used to play in a band together back in the day called Rah Rah Riot. So we had met from our old band, and then whenever, fast forward a bunch of years, when I wanted to start a new band up, I knew I wanted to do another all-female band, so I contacted Deirdre from Rah Rah Riot to be on drums. And then we had to look for a bass player, and we found Steph through a Facebook moms group, and I made a post in a moms group of like 10,000 people saying I wanted to look for a bass player for this punk rock band I'm starting up again. It's all moms, and met a few people, but then we met Steph at a show. But Dee was playing a show at Mavericks, and Steph was there, and we just hit it off instantly, and it was great. And then we just, sort of all came together.
I feel like then I would have auditioned for you. You saw me play. Yeah, I'll be in your band. Look at her. It's great. Yeah, it was awesome, actually. Yeah, I think we just it was a perfect fit. I was watching Deirdre and I was like, oh my God, she's amazing. And then when we talked after, it was like we had been friends forever, and just that was like 4 years ago now.
I feel 5. It's a cultural treason.
Yeah, cultural treason. Yeah, that was the show.
That's cool. Cool. A mom's group.
I don't actually remember where I met you, Sarah. We're in the band Rah Rah Riot, but the actual origin story, we'll have to dig it up one day.
I remember. I do remember. I met Deirdre when she was drumming for Knives and Forks for Freedom.
Oh,
this was back in 2009, 2010.
Oh, that's a rainbow.
No, it was at a house show.
Damn.
An old punk house show in Hull. And I just remember seeing Deirdre at the time, and we needed a drummer for our old all-girl band that my old singer Jamie and I started, and I saw Deirdre on drums, and I'm like, I need to have her in my band. So I remember approaching you, and then that was we were young back when we were youngins. That's going back far. So Deirdre and I do go back quite far.
Yeah,
15 years now. So we've been making music together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
So Knives and Forks for Freedom.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
It is hardcore.
It is very hard. I like the name of the band. And sometimes that's the funnest part.
That's like punk. That's real punk rock right there. That's like a punk rock name.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
So that leads to my next question. Why punk rock?
Why? What?
Because they love it.
Punk rock?
Why punk rock? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man, it's just where your heart is.
that's literally all I can play. I feel like I'm an imposter sometimes. Like I just like it's just what flows out of me. Like when I write music, it's fast rhythm punk guitar. That's just what I can create naturally, you know.
Steph and I
So-
play other stuff, but together we have that punk flow. But
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I just like I play multiple genres, but punk rock is just always a blast to play, and I think we're all very passionate about the things we sing about. So it's a great outlet to just be able to yell and be angry. But
Trash hotel rooms, stuff
yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah, it's part of the genre, right? You trash a hotel room, you trash a bar.
Oh, I think that's just bands.
But yeah, but punk rock bands, come on.
No, the punk rock is there's always a meaning behind the lyrics. I'm a big fan of punk rock, so I get it. I mean, it's they're the most passionate I find about the music that they play of all the artists, and that's hard. That's in my opinion, subjectively.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
You like that? Yeah. We're done. We're done here.
All right, yeah, let's wrap it up.
Great chat, guys.
Thanks for coming out.
So as the band you kind of just got back to like sort of sorted it out to get together now, what's your plan for the next couple of years, or like do you just want to keep playing together for now and then just see how it goes, or do you have a big plan?
We do. We have plans.
Good. Tell me them.
Nefarious.
we're finally hitting the studio to record our first album, which has been
Sweet.
long awaited. And we've been a band for 4 years now. But we started at the start of COVID, and how that all played out. And I'm sure you've talked to many bands through COVID. Things just took a long time to
I don't think those 2 years count.
gather. Yeah,
Like a lot of people are like, those don't really count.
yeah.
We played our first show in 2022, and
Yeah.
then we've been playing shows since then with like no recorded music. So we're gotta just be like, now we're kind of ready to just hunker down and get it done.
And then do some new stuff.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Maybe do a little tour.
Mhm.
but yeah, just for sure get the album out, do some recording, get that album out, and
And trash some hotel rooms after we have the album.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm not encouraging that.
There you are.
you
We
kind of
love
are.
that shit.
We will send you the bill.
Yeah. We're not for profit.
Yeah, great.
We're not doing well over here, actually. Just kidding.
I'm inciting riots now. It's all good.
Yeah, no, it's good times.
Yeah, sure. Tell us about the first gig you guys did.
The first one, do you remember? I do remember.
Yeah, it was at House of Targ.
Mhm.
And we were opening for the Radolescents. So I don't know if you've heard of the 80s California punk band, the Adolescents. It was a couple of members who kind of formed a new kind of lineup of the band, and we're touring, playing Adolescent songs, and that was really cool. So that was a huge first show. We had a great turnout and a great response.
fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Got through the nervousness and just
Oh my gosh! I almost passed out on stage. I was so nervous. I almost fainted. I was so nervous.
your first show to literally packed House of Targ with all these
So she was not the front woman in Rara Riot. So that's like a huge difference to go from being a guitar player behind your mic to being like
singing all the
everyone
lyrics.
like eyes on you.
Yeah, that was so nerve wracking. And then being
huge.
like the lead vocalist and singing all the songs, and obviously it was our first show. We're nervous, so we played extra fast.
Well, you're in the right genre for that. You can get away with it. Yeah.
So
It's funny
I
though.
was nervous, and I didn't. Yeah, I just was gonna. I was gonna pass out.
I liked Targ though because it's like somewhere that I don't know. It just feels a little bit more like home. It was like for our first show, it was a little bit more comfortable versus like when you play at a new venue for a first show. I feel like it would have been that much more nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Like
Targ
when
is
we
always
played,
It's nice.
uh,
It's nice and dark in there.
It's a good venue. I went to a show there. It's fun because it is kind of, you're right. It's just like playing in your basement.
It is. I think that's what Yogi wants it to be, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of how he envisioned it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
So you got through the scary part, and then you got to play the show, right?
we did. And Rama Riot, we actually used to jam at the old original House of Targ back when it was on Main Street. So back when Yogi had like a jam studios on Main
Mhm.
Street, if you remember where that was.
Yeah.
So we used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told us all about that.
Mhm.
And then you go to his house till 5 a.m. in the bay. Yeah. Anyways, that's another long story. Did you know that Yogi used to have after parties? Anyways,
He mentioned that, I bet,
Yeah.
when I was paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know anything about after parties.
No, the punk rockers, they just do the show and they go home, right?
Yeah,
that's all they
right.
do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they have
Mom
kids
punk
now, so
rockers.
yeah.
This
Yeah,
one.
Mom
yeah,
punk
yeah.
rockers play the show. Okay, time to go home.
Yeah, Dee Dee's got a
was- how
midnight
do-
cutoff, and
Yeah.
she leaves.
Yeah, I gotta go. Gotta go.
Yeah.
How do you balance that? Like, are your kids old enough now that you can sort out some time to create the album, or?
So we've got oldest kids.
My kids are older. I have 16-year-old, 13, and 10. So I'm at a good
Wow.
stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a 6-year-old, and I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Okay.
So they need a little more. I got like a super dad, super husband at home, just like holds down the fort anytime I need to do something. Like tonight, I was like, I gotta go. I got a thing. He's like, do your podcast. I'll survive. So,
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, send us the bill.
There's no bill. There's no bill for kids, bro. Well, there's lots, but not when you're parenting.
Now, are the husbands or significant others, are they in bands as well, or are they just not? I guess.
mine isn't. No.
Yeah.
No music for him. My partner is a musician as well, so he's been active in the punk scene for a long, long time, and everyone I've dated seems to have been musicians. So it just, when you're in the music community, it's sort of who you're with. But yeah, no, it does take a lot to balance having kids for sure, like in bands, and I think that's part of what contributed to having to take so much longer to get an album out, and having to turn down certain shows because it didn't work with childcare schedules, or it's definitely a balance for sure. But your kids end up growing up loving music. Like my son Nicola, just I would jam at home, and he would run around with a microphone while I played guitar, and he's definitely come to shows and he'll come to band practice with me because I was a single mom for a while and I just didn't have anyone to watch him, but you have to play music. And so he would come to band practice, and just, definitely growing up in the music scene and like playing with parents who are musicians, and it's a lot of fun.
The understanding is
For
really
sure.
nice. And when you kind of show up, like, both my bands, everyone is a parent. So when you're just like, man, I had this shit happen to me today, and this, and like, my kid spit in my face, like, and you're just like, everyone's like, yeah, I've been there, like, like, let's play it out, let's get it out on music, or like,
Yeah.
I'm late, because this, like, the understanding is really nice, and being able to have that minute to kind of like, rant a little bit or have that understanding when,
Totally, I get it.
we gotta
I
cancel.
Mhm.
There's,
You can just tell.
Yeah.
You can be in the audience and go, yeah, Dee Dee had a bad day. She's hammering those skins like they owe her money.
She's,
Yeah,
she's broken six sticks
drumsticks.
tonight.
She's pissed.
I know.
Yeah, I
Your story.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. As I became a parent, the funny thing that I found because I give my twin girls bath time every night, and except for tonight, of course, Mondays I don't do it. But the thing with that is when they first took a shit in the tub, and that's like something that you have to deal with. I went to my buddies who all have older kids, and he's like, oh yeah, that'll happen lots. Don't worry about that, and
Stop it down.
I
Carry
just, like,
on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just jam her down and you're fine. Disgusting. But no, it's the best. It's the best.
Oh,
having kids
man.
for sure.
I think it makes me a better parent. It really does.
You learn to
Yeah.
just like accept things you never thought you would in your whole life, and it's like, well,
I
exactly.
prioritize
That's
doing
true.
my thing. You're like, how do you manage it? It's like if I don't play music, if I don't hit the drums, it's like I just am more stressed. It was definitely something when I wanted to start a new band. I was like, I want it to be not just like all female band, but like all mom band. Like that's what I really
Yeah.
I wanted that. I wanted that like connection. I wanted us to all be like we get each other and like, you know, band is important as well, but like obviously like family is also we need to understand the unique needs of that, right? Like sometimes you need to miss a jam or sometimes things happen. It's because you have a family and if you don't have other people that don't really relate to that, it's not the same, right? So it's really been awesome to be able to have that connection in a band, and it was a big piece of what I wanted to do with the band.
Yeah, I would think that the boundaries that you could set for yourself are reciprocated with your bandmates because you're all going through the same thing, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's very makes so much sense to have people on the same page.
Mm.
Yeah, it's great. It's great being a parent.
That's why I can't relate.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
okay though, dude. Just sit over there and relax.
Well, no, that's why I work with children all day.
Yeah, it's true. You
Yeah.
do. You deal with some interesting things too.
Mhm.
Was there ever a time when you guys thought about quitting music? Obviously, you just said that music is your outlet, and I understand that everybody needs an outlet. So, was there ever a time where you're like contemplating, I don't want to be in this industry anymore?
No,
Mhm.
this breaks happened kind of like naturally, whereas like I find my flow is that the bands have come to me. Like I've never like went and was like, all right, I'm gonna look for a band. Everyone just kind of found me and was like, you're a drummer, right? Will you be in
And
my
he's a
band?
drummer. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had a point where after Raw Raw Riot stopped playing, I didn't really like choose to leave the scene. I just kind of didn't find another band for like a few years, that kind of thing. But I would have like if someone approached me, I would have been willing, but I wasn't looking for it for a little while. Yeah,
Okay.
right place, right time. You know.
Mhm.
I definitely remember when I got pregnant and I gave birth. I took some time off of the band. I was playing in a Goat, which was like a skate punk band for a few years, and I had to step away from music just as when I like first had a child, just because I just needed time away. So that was probably like the only time I've really like stepped away from music was when I first had a child and just needed to focus on that season of my life.
It's the same for me too. Yeah, I didn't play when my kids were young at all. I always had that passion and I always had a bass sitting there, but I never had the time to pick it up. So it was like now I'm getting that time back now that my kids are older. It's like, oh, I can actually do it.
I remember playing a show when my son was 3 months old.
That was, I think,
My
the show
oldest
that I-
kid.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
came to see you and you're like, I have a 3-month-old. And I'm
My-
like, what?
My parents are like, "Do you need a break?" And I was like, "No, I need this. I need this poop.
yeah, exactly.
Milk."
Yeah,
I was like, "I'm playing the show."
yeah. Get me the fuck out of here. I'm going to play.
Super
Yeah.
mama.
No, I get it totally.
Talk about the
gonna start a
anxiety
band?
though.
No bands.
The anxiety though after like taking that break away and then like re-entering life as a musician in the scene, but also being a mom, like
it's huge.
trying to navigate those two roles and then meld them in together was like a really big. That was really hard for me. You know, like you take this time off and you have a baby at home, but then you go out to a show and you go and
How old
get
was
back
Nicola
into it.
when you were back playing?
Well, I think I played a show with Goat, and Nicola was probably like a year old, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
But it just felt like that, like just like going back into that role was a huge adjustment for sure, and that took some time to get comfortable back into that for sure.
How about you, Steph? How old were your kids when you? I'm interviewing now.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Thank you. Yeah, we're just here. It's all good.
It's okay. You guys can just sit back and relax.
Yeah. We're cool. We're chilling. We're chilling. It's all about, this is about you guys. We're interested in the story for sure.
No, that was a good question. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm trying to think, but I feel like it was when Theo was like 4. So, like, I have 3 kids, so my oldest would have been probably 10, and then my youngest was like I think it was around 4 when I felt like 3, 4. I was like, okay, I can actually.
You're active, like going to shows.
But I was going to shows. I ran a home daycare for a while, so I was home around kids all the time, and I needed that outlet. So I would like go see shows. Like that was my passion. I would go meet musicians, kind of constantly building that, like keeping that passion flowing in little ways. My husband has always been really supportive too with that. He was like, yeah, get out of the house, you go, you need it. And then eventually I was like, okay, no, I need to play music. I can't just go see it. Like I want to be on stage. So then I started kind of getting back into playing more, and then it just kind of drove from there that, yeah, now I'm in 3 bands. So, yeah, it's good.
Damn. And still has a husband. Well done.
Yes, he's very supportive. I'm very lucky. We've been together for 19 years and been through everything and back. And he, he's always supported me in everything that I do. He knows I'm passionate about it. And yeah, I did all the young, when our kids were young, I was always home with them. I stayed home with them. And now we're kind of switching roles a bit, and he's home a lot more with work, and I can go out and do my things. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, everybody needs an outlet. That's just the way it is.
Find a balance.
Well,
yeah.
Exactly. It's got
in your own life. Like that's the thing. You can't, like, you do things together, and then he probably has his things that he likes to do, and you do your things you like to do, and that's why you've been together for 19 years. Because a lot of people forget how to do things on their own, but keep the nucleus at home.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Hey man, I've been in a relationship for 13 years. What are you talking about?
You're good at it.
Yeah,
I'm not.
And it's good. Like,
you encourage your
that advice, though. Like it's good. It's good to
it's true.
And admit that it's not always easy, and you got to just work through the challenges, because people think it's like it is in the movies or whatever. It's not. Like
no, it's not. There's moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
When the twins were 5 months and wouldn't sleep, like there was things that we said to each other that we probably didn't mean.
You have twins?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, it's the best. Yeah. One's gonna be a drummer, and then one will be like a lead singer for sure.
Nice. That's like
like Tilly likes to hit things, and then Flo is like very much I like to be the center of attention. So she's a lot like me, really, because I love being the center.
Shocking. Yeah. I'm just here for whatever reason. I don't even know why.
Well, we need a yin and yang, bro.
Yeah. Which one am I?
I don't know. You can ask them a question.
I will once you stop talking.
Okay, well, can you?
You guys have a great relationship.
We're almost this is my other relationship.
I'm his work wife. Will you encourage your children if they go into the music business?
Oh, definitely, yeah, for sure. Nicola had a drum kit when he was like a year old. I got him like a little child drum kit, and I'm always.
Amazing.
I got him like a guitar for Christmas when he was like 2 years old, and he's totally gonna be in the scene. It may not be punk, like I try and get it on him, but he's super into rap these days.
Yeah,
and breakdancing, and you gotta let them also be them, right? But I'd love for them to be involved creatively in the music field, and yeah.
My daughter's picked up piano, but it's because of Taylor Swift, which I never pushed, but she's 13, and I'm like, whatever it is, do your thing. It's music, and she likes it, and it's driven her to like learn piano, and so I was like, okay, if that's what it is,
I actually had this idea that I would still love to do it with the band, but have like Nicola, he's written some songs before, and he had a song about a ghost. And it was really, really good. And I'm like, those are like really cool lyrics and stuff. So I would love to like be able to, as a fun, if we ever had the time, make an album where like our kids actually write the lyrics for the music, but then we write the music, but sing their lyrics. Yeah, but it's like our kids wrote the music, and it's like maybe like a couple fun mom songs.
Like Kids for Days or something.
There you go. Yeah.
My son
That's
has
hilarious.
elaborate stories.
It's like your kid's Mozart.
Mm-hmm. Or like some hidden tracks.
He's writing, like composing his own music. He's like,
that's a great idea, though. I think that'd be a lot of fun for the band to do that.
For sure. I think it's fantastic.
I have an electric drum kit in my living room, which was planned because I've heard what it sounds like when the kids play the full kit. I was like, no, thank you. But I put them to play in respect to my
my neighbors. I have my acoustic kit here, and then I have that one that I practice on. And I didn't want it in the basement because I wanted them to see me play. And sometimes I practice, and they just like run in circles, and they tell me to play faster or slower.
That's
or
fun. You set the tempo to their running.
yeah, and like the little like 2-year-old like climbs on the stool and is like gonna fall off, but I'm just like, yeah, get on there, like headset on and everything.
Fun.
You know,
That's amazing.
encourage it by
Um,
proxy,
who-
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Who got you guys into music? Who's your who like your parents or whatever?
I grew up with it in
Grandparent.
the home. I grew up with Irish traditional music being played in my house. So that was my first. I was hearing that when I was like, my first memory was that music. Tons of musicians
Deirdre?
in my house, like yeah.
That's why their name's Deirdre.
Yes. I love that. I love that you're so family oriented with your music. And Dee Dee, every Wednesday she plays music with her father, the traditional Celtic Irish group that she plays with at Quinn's on Bank Street every Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
So she still plays with her father every week. And I think I love that so much.
It's amazing.
My
For sure.
my brother got me into music. My older brother, Bud O'Byrne from Cornwall. So I lived in Cornwall for 12 years. And my brother got me into music. And I have so many stories about my brother. And it's really close to my heart because he ended up passing away 4 years ago. And, but yeah, no, he totally got me into music. He got me my first guitar when I was like 16 years old on my birthday. And I didn't live with him because he was like 10 years older, but I just came home to my mom's. And there was a guitar and an amp there. And it was from him. And yeah, all of my music equipment came from him. My first acoustic, my first bass, like he would be selling off stuff. And I'm like, I got to buy that. And I just grew up watching him play music and all of his bands. And he really loved music. He was, yeah. And Dee Dee played in a band with my brother at one point.
A very brief stint.
Yeah, and they were all doing acid. Dee Dee's like, I can't be a part of this.
Like, I might be too high to play.
I was like,
It's all good.
but yeah, for sure, my brother. Yeah, he opened up Bud's Records in Cornwall. I don't know if you've heard of them.
It's
I
still
have heard of it.
open.
It's still open.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
But he opened that up
that is hilarious.
in at the start of COVID, and then that was his dream to open up a record store, and it did really well. But then a year later, he ended up passing away in 2021. Sorry, in 2020. But he had the record store open for a year, but then, which was really, really sad. But then his bandmate Jason ended up taking over the record store. And he still owns it now with his partner Emily. So it's still great to see the record store just thriving and doing really well. And it's, yeah. So it seems to be
I'm
like
sorry to hear
family
that.
that got us into music, you know?
Yeah, none of my
It
family like
usually is.
played music, but I definitely like it's always in the house playing. I don't come from like a family of musicians or anything, but I knew I was passionate about it at an early age and got my parents to buy me a guitar, and then I bought my first bass with my own money off a friend.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, I was he was in a punk
Yeah.
band, and I was like, he was selling it, and I paid a couple $100 because I worked really young. I had a job, and yeah, just kind of like driven from then. Just knew it was what made me tick.
It's like my first drum kit was like a couple $100 in a case of beer. I was like, what's that dusty thing in your corner? You even play that? It's like, no. I was like, can I have it? It's like, yeah, sure.
I mean, it's like, yeah, you just take it. Just
Yeah,
take it.
yeah.
Get it out of my house.
Dust it off and take it home. Do you have a? I know you guys played Targ for your first show, but do you have a favorite venue in Ottawa, or is it Targ?
We might each have our own answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
My new favorite venue is the one I haven't played at.
There you
I don't know.
One thing I liked about Targ was having, Slow Tom doing the sound. He's a great sound guy.
Yes.
He's the best sound guy we've ever had. He's so attentive. He's so just like making sure everything is good and communicating. that makes the whole experience better, is having a good sound person. That, like, 100%. Because we played some venues where they don't just give two craps about you, and then then you're worried the whole time, or there's sound issues. So, like, Targ has it down there.
My favorite are just
Yeah,
house
he's
shows.
a legend.
Yeah, Slow Tom's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
so
a
good.
staple in the community, and we're always lucky to have to play with them or have them do our sound.
So a house show with Slow Tom.
But a house show is like so much fun though, and anytime
talk about the room.
I play in the basement, I find it just like the energy is awesome. They're just right in your face. It's just so upfront and personal, and
It's very different from playing on like the big stage. Like I definitely remember like when Sarah was saying when she met me playing in the house shows, like that's how I kind of like grew up playing my first shows, and it is very intimate, and it is really kind of, you feel the energy of everybody in front of you, and there's like literally no barrier. People are just like singing like in your face.
it's so
with
good.
you.
Yeah, I have a house venue in my basement, the Womb.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at my house, and we've played a show there, two shows. We've done 2 shows there, and it was tons of fun. And so yeah, I definitely have a big heart for house venues, and I'm happy to have one. A lot of people think that like Wet for Days kind of has like, it's a Wet for Days project, which it kind of is, because I mean I'm there and I'm Wet for
We
Days,
don't even
but
technically
we don't
jam there.
We don't even jam there. No, it's just my house, you know.
Yeah.
I take credit. Yeah. People are like, oh yeah, Wet for Days, you know, the Womb is so great. I was like, yeah, no, that's Sarah's.
Sarah,
All
she put a lot of
Sarah.
work into it.
Well, like, yes, thank you. I will tell her. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
it's
welcome.
a great
That's what
place.
you
Like
say,
Sarah and
Renee.
I both have a vision of opening a venue one day, and I think that was kind of the drive when you moved into this house, was like, I'm doing this at the basement, and she was just driven to make it happen. I'd go over and I'd be like, oh my gosh, she'd just go to town cleaning and getting everything set up. I don't know how she found the time or energy, but it was really cool to watch it happen and watch you kind of make it what it is. When you're passionate about something, you just let it drive you, and yeah.
That's right. It's the only way to go.
Yes.
Yeah. What can fans expect from your live show?
Um,
I was
sorry.
I have 2 words.
That good, eh?
Oh yeah. Pussy power. That's why I laughed so hard. I was like, I don't know if these guys are ready for this, but
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
that's how I
I'm ready,
feel.
Bray,
Just
Yeah, we're kind of there. Like, the songs we write about are very much like kind of written towards a woman's perspective, obviously. So when we have women come up to us after a show and just tell us how empowered they are, like, it's awesome, and that's why we're doing what we do. Like, we obviously, like, you know, we have tons of male fans and we appreciate everybody's support, but we kind of are trying to fill that niche where it's like people have somewhere to go and just sing and yell about problems that we face, and feel like you're heard and listened to. And, you know, that's kind of what we are aiming to do with the songs we write.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always great to have people come up to us and just, who don't know what to expect, and then come to our show and they're like, wow, you know, like, it's always awesome to get that kind of feedback. And
we have a lot of fun. Like, you can expect to see us like having a blast on stage.
we're loud.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loud and fast, just full energy. Well, I don't know. You saw us at Overflow. Like, it was fast.
What did
it was
you think?
energetic.
Tell us
Yeah.
what you thought. Dog, you
I thought it was great.
Did you feel the
It was
pussy
lots
power?
of fun.
Was-
I felt the pussy power. Let me tell you.
Well, you could add that in your branding if you want.
Yeah, we
Put that,
could.
like, get a couple stickers made up called Pussy Power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that won't offend anybody at all.
Nobody will get offended. Fuck it. Who cares? It's
Yeah.
punk rock, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
freedom that we get to have, and
Mhm.
that's
supporting younger women too. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like all of us in the music scene of kind of have our own stories of what it was like for us at shows, or so it's nice. We also want to create an environment where we have a lot of fun, but it's also safe.
Mhm.
Right? It's like, you know, I can say like, you know, Dee Dee's always Dee Dee. Like, you know, if you need, you know, we also have a table full of resources from all of Sarah's experience and our encouragement. It's like,
Yeah, we
We
always
wanna-
want to feel like you can come to us and feel safe at our shows. And feel like when there's things that need to be talked about, that it's okay to talk about them, and you don't have to live with things. You know, kind of. Yeah, I don't know how to. You know what I mean? Like we want to just be inclusive and community. That's what we've always kind of pushed. Is that we want to make sure people are heard and not feeling like they need to hide things that are you know, or issues that should be talked about.
we're coming a long way. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And also too, it isn't just for women, it's for men too.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
for-
Anyone who
Yeah.
is facing any type of, you know, like
being able to talk about sex, baby. For guys too, they're like talking to us and they're like, is this awkward that I talk to you about this? My band name is literally Weapon Base Man. Like just like let's do it.
I was gonna say, like,
That's-
the name.
I'm so open
The
about
name.
yeah,
I'm so open about talking about sex. I talk about sex so openly. I have no issue talking about all sexual stuff. It's just
it doesn't matter the gender. It's just you know, yeah. we're just-
yes. So like, we do have a bunch of free resources at our shows. So you can expect to be able to get free condoms, free lube, free pregnancy tests. You know, I try and, you know, give away a bunch of different resources about mental health or sexual health or trans rights, and which is really great. I had a show at the Womb recently, and one of the members from the other band that played had been like, oh, I know you have all these resources and you have like naloxone kits and all this stuff, and I have these fentanyl test strips, so like they like added to the resource table, which I thought was really cool. So now people can like test for fentanyl in their stuff if they wanted. So it's just like, yeah, creating community and just giving out these, you know, resources that should help support people's needs. And yeah.
No, it's I like that. I mean, it's you can, you know, having resources is never an issue. Like, I think that people that are, you know, maybe obtuse towards that are the wrong people for your fan base anyway. So I think
Yeah.
that's great. The more that's out there that's available and you can provide, then the better, really. I mean,
Mhm. Depending on
you
the
know.
show and the crowd, we might actually throw the loop at you.
Ooh. Well, that's how I like it. You know,
Yeah.
I like it to be a little aggressive, and you know, usually when I walk in a room, it's like that anyway. So
People are aggressive towards you.
just women usually.
Loop from pockets, not
Just-
our loop.
Just have
Yeah,
a loop.
packets of lube, not they don't just spray it at you.
Oh.
my, no.
You should get like a super soaker, wet for days of lube.
Oh, don't give us that idea. Oh no.
Fuck yeah!
Too late now.
Yeah. I'm a branding
No,
guy.
that's
I'm a
not
marketing guy.
Oh my god. Oh,
You got this, man.
I'm never gonna.
Get
You'll
somebody
just
running.
You'll just have to widen. You'll just have to widen the hole on the.
Just get somebody running through the crowd doing it to people.
We're getting deep. Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
Very slippery.
That would be like a house show thing. I feel like.
Mhm.
That would be the
Outdoor
womb. That's
craft.
right.
Yeah, outside.
The womb.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boom. It's true.
Yeah, it's like Gus said too. Anybody who's not down with what you guys are talking about wouldn't come to one of your shows, and they shouldn't.
Well, I think it's easy to be closed.
Or maybe they should.
Maybe they
Just
should. That's
open
not-
up their fucking minds.
And we won't
Yeah,
judge
but
them, right?
yeah, exactly. And you're not like you're just adding things that are like it was funny that I was just looking at Noxolin kits. They're giving them away for free at a lot of places just
Yep.
so you have them in case you're
Yeah.
downtown or something or whatever.
Well, it's
like-
important. It's important to know that if somebody's having an opioid issue, that you have that available for them.
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot of good things that are available. I mean, you know, I think that the
I
key
feel like
is to
it's-
try and
Yeah.
lead them to sobriety, but if you have to help them when they're not, I think it's, you know, there's challenges.
Well, it's nice to have that. If
we can't make those choices for them, right? It has
No,
to be,
of course not.
them. But that was something I noticed at the show for sure. I was looking back at your merch and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. It was all like the stuff the ladies said. There was like, I'm like, oh,
There was a super soaker.
no super soaker.
Oh,
Not yet.
oh yeah, that's coming. The branded super soaker.
That's it. You can sell them.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Water guns anyway.
Well, you know, the
Um,
wet for days is, it's kind of funny. We actually have lube at our tables, right? Because like we don't need lube, right? We're wet for days. No, but like, yeah.
It's false advertising.
No, but it's
Some
something
people
to talk
need help.
about. Obviously, like it's obviously needed. It's not like a
You know, not everyone gets wet, you know, and that's okay.
yeah,
too,
that's totally okay.
right?
It's
I hope that people don't feel
yeah.
offended by it, you know, or like I'm like we're trying to talk about inclusion, but
We have the lube
I
for
actually
you.
had a
It's all
scare recently. I thought I was hitting early menopause, and I was like, I talked to my partner, and I was like, "What?" Because what part of menopause is you get really dried up, and I'm like, I can't be dry. I've been wet for days.
This is something that can't happen, honey. Sorry.
This conversation's certainly gone a little bit like
Are you guys
this
feeling
way.
uncomfortable
What-
again?
What exactly did you expect talking to a band called Wet for Days?
Yeah.
Well, at the beginning, it was very like we kind of were just getting to know each other, and
Yeah.
now we're in it.
Let's talk
you know?
about
Yeah.
our cycles.
You
Boom.
can hear about our
Yeah, it's, because you're in a band, do you cycle at the same time?
And it's all synced up.
You know what? I will answer
I have
that.
sisters
I'm not afraid
and
to-
No,
daughters.
but like for a while, our show schedule was lined up with mine, and it was horrible. It was like every
Oh,
show
my.
was, like, played.
That was like a
guys,
really
this has to
angry show.
Stop happening. It's really bad.
Yeah,
We haven't
Like
we
you
haven't
were
synced up yet.
Yeah, no, but it is.
yeah.
I'm
You
sorry,
gave a lot of people shit in that crowd that night. That was
Yeah.
It just it gives you more.
what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know
Wouldn't even think to ask that question.
what? Well, if you don't have sisters, you have brothers.
No, I have two brothers. That's
So
true.
I know when it's happening. Okay, there was that was the time where I would say something and I get something thrown at me and I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then of
We
course
should
my,
talk about
my
that.
mother would be like,
Yeah.
"They're on their cycle,"
It doesn't
and there'd be
matter
3 of them.
What
So
you
it'd be,
say,
Whatever you say is just wrong.
Yeah.
It's not
Yep.
exactly, which I didn't get at the time because I was 10. So like I didn't know what was going on, but I learned very quickly
Yeah.
not to fuck around.
You're a fast learner.
Yeah.
All right, let's
blanket
get to
and a
some-
chocolate.
Shall we? Do you mind if we ask a few music questions now?
I got
Yes,
one.
Who's? Yeah. Okay, you go first, and I'll go.
Steph, tell us about your road trip to Vegas
Oh
to
yeah.
the Punk
so
Rock
I was-
Museum.
Well, I was actually going to just bring that up because when I was talking to Fat Mike. Okay, well, yeah. So we went to the Punk Rock Museum, which I don't know if you know, was started from Fat Mike from NoFX, and we were planning on going the whole time we were there, and then he happened to be doing a like early album release, so we hung out with them, and I told him about Wet for Days, and the first thing he said was, "But guys don't get wet." Sorry, I know
Well,
the
if they're
conversation is going back to where you don't want to be, but yeah, it was just a total random happening coming across this, like they have this really cool bar attached to the museum, so you go through and all the stuff. There's like, oh man, there's so much stuff from like every punk band you can think of has donated stuff and on display, and then they have this whole jam room where you can walk in and play gear that's been donated from different musicians. And yeah, I posted a video you probably saw with like Fat Mike's bass
Mhm.
rig. So that was super
Yep.
cool. Yeah, it was highly recommend checking it out if you're ever there. It was like kind of going down like, you know, memory lane with all the bands that they had there. I'm a big like Bad Religion fan, and Pennywise. They had like this whole room set up, which was like Pennywise jam space. And this old like smashed Rickenbacker, which was so funny because sorry, I'm going on a lot about this, but
It's so cool.
I know.
they had this little
Please
like
do.
these little like tidbits about what the guitars were from, and I guess one of the members, I can't remember who it was, smashed the guitar as a sacrifice to the rock gods.
Yep.
And then they got signed like a month later. So yeah, it was
Nice.
like one of those
Nice.
things. Yeah, it was cool. I was like, maybe we should
Break
be
shit.
smashing more things. And,
Oh yeah.
We're smashing stigmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Smashing stigmas. Yes. Excellent. Yeah. Who would you say is your like when you were younger was the go-to to listen to for punk rock?
Okay. I'm going to leave you for a minute.
Man.
Leave you alone with the ladies.
Nope.
Well, for me, I think like I grew up with like Bad Religion, Screeching Weasel, NoFX was like a huge one.
I'd say no effects for me too.
You specifically asked punk rock, so I'm just naming like the punk rock influences, but like those ones were big, and like Leftover Crack and
Yeah.
the Distillers. I was a
Leftover
big fan of, and we used to, because we were in an all-girl band, we used to always get like thrown into that, you're like the Distillers,
And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm
we
not
have
like
our own
anyone.
sound, but like, yeah, my musical tastes are all over the genre map. Like I love, like one of my favorite bands is like the Pixies, and I love like the 70s punk sounds. So like the Buzzcocks and Iggy Pop, and so I don't even know if like our like genre or our sound has like, I can never really place it. Like I don't know who we sound like. I think we just
Take our own.
we all take our
influences,
influences, but
Yeah, mine was the same. Yeah, it was really big. Like those Bad Religion and early Pennywise albums, I listened to like religiously as like a teenager. With all the skaters and stuff. That was kind of my teenage years. Yeah, no effects for sure. But I'm also very wide range of what I listen to. I'm kind of across the map. But punk rock definitely has a place in my soul. Where it's like, yeah, it's kind of
That angst and anger
Yeah.
and the whole fuck the system as you
Yeah,
start to become
exactly.
a conscious at that
like
age and you start
Fugazi
to
and
question your
Mhm.
indoctrines and how you've been raised in society. And you're just like, oh, this is all really fucked up. Yeah, punk rock.
Yeah, we know about things. Yeah.
that's fair. I mean, that's for me. It was I always liked the Dead Kennedys and Sex Pistols always hit it really hard for me, and then of course I think NoFX. NoFX was big too. Yeah, all good ones. Would you say that you're all like? Would you be introverted or extrovert?
I'm
I mean, what I'm getting right now is that some of you are extroverted. And
I'm
some
like
of you are
an
introverted.
extroverted introvert or introverted extrovert.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I suffer. I suffer. I hate using that term. I have like diagnosed anxiety, and I have like anxiety with the social anxiety component, which people find hard to believe. Being a lead singer of a band, like how can you have social anxiety? So definitely, yeah, that plays into like I just need that time away, and it can be really, really nerve-wracking to be able to do what you're doing, and probably why I've also had like addictions in the past and like been drinking at shows and doing that because that helps to mask that social anxiety. And but yeah, so I'm definitely an introvert who loves doing what I do, so I'm like kind of an extrovert in that sense, if that makes
The passion
sense.
overrides
Mm-hmm.
the fighter light.
Yeah.
I'd say Steph's an extrovert, though I'm answering on your behalf. You're so social. You're
I'm
like
pretty
doing
social,
so
yeah.
much.
I do a lot. Yeah, I need to be doing things. I'm not like a sit down and watch Netflix kind of person. I need to be doing things all the
I'm a
time.
little bit.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit.
very much.
That's me.
Say I'm
Yeah.
extroverted, but I'm also a highly sensitive person. So I can like be in crowds and I love it and like chatting away with people and connecting. And then at the end of the night, I'm like, okay, I need to be alone. No one talk to me. I'm done. Like it's midnight. Let's go. Like, yeah.
Yeah, fair.
I also
I'm-
do like I've done like social support work for like 10 years as well. So like my job is working with clients and working with the community. So you kind of have to force yourself out of being that, and I think that's also
Challenging yourself.
Yeah, it is. And like you work full time doing that where you have to be this extroverted person. Like by the time I get home, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I just need that time for me. So I think you have to find your balance,
One thing I noticed is that as a reestablishing mom time. So before it was like mom time is sometimes like, 20 minutes, can no one talk to me, nobody touch me. Like I have small children, like that's what it is. Steph is like, can you please talk to me? Because you're dangerous. For those of you who understand what that's like.
Yeah.
But
And
now
I've been
we
married and on
both.
that side of things too, where it's like, yeah, if you're being touched and climbed on all day, you get to a point where it's just like, I just need to be alone.
Yeah.
I feel that for sure.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, everybody needs their space.
Mhm.
Agreed. What did I miss?
Oh, we were talking about punk rock bands, and then
Cool.
You're talking about our
we can
periods.
we're,
I
yeah.
apologize for that.
Yeah, we got more in depth on their types of periods that they have. And
Oh,
such.
that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to make it super awkward for you, bro.
Yeah.
Why would that be? I've worked in an industry for 30 years with only women, so
Where do you
nothing that
work?
they can say.
Tell us more.
I've worked. I work at a school right now, so I'm an EA. I work with individuals with developmental disabilities,
Oh, okay.
but I've worked in group homes for 20 plus years. So, and it's mostly female staff. So anything you say, it's not going to shock me.
Oh,
so.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
For the most, well, you could probably try,
Please don't say anything that would shock him, please.
but I've been around, like most of my coworkers have been females for most of my adult life.
Oh, so you know everything about women? And
No, I know
periods.
nothing.
Okay, good.
All those years
I know
has
about
taught
this
them.
much.
You better watch it, bro. You better watch it.
I better watch your ass.
Well, thank you for listening to us. It's really appreciative to like be able to have these conversations more and more. It really like it gives me more hope for
'Cause it's like-
society. You know,
Well,
like,
it's
that we can
men
just
need to understand more. They really do.
And
Yeah,
talk
I mean,
about our
I'm-
music. And our music is
yeah,
talking about sex, talking about being a woman, talking about being a mom. Like that is our music.
yeah.
And then we've
Yeah.
had people unfollow us because they're like, "Oh, you actually are like moms that you talk about." Like, yes, like, but we're also like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a weird
Yeah.
thing.
And we have a
Who
song about
cares?
like
Who
sex
cares? You
workers, who's like, which is like a thing that no one ever talks about, but it's like a hidden thing that is there and it's valid, and we need to also stand up for these people who are in our community. So it's like that's just one of the things we like to do because sex workers are also like, I don't know, they need to be heard and valued as well, but nobody ever brings it up. It's like a hidden thing. So yeah,
It's true. It's true. There's we do a lot for, like, personally I do, and also the podcast does a lot for the food banks because we feel like there's a lot of people that need them, and then I do a lot for the mission and the Salvation Army and such because my uncle was actually schizophrenic and homeless most of the time, and like we offered him to come with us and live with us, but when you're schizophrenic, you don't want to be around people, and it's a very interesting disease because I would walk by him a lot and see him a lot. And he wouldn't know who I was, but he, it was just an interesting thing. And then I also do a lot for workplace accidents because I lost a brother also, and it was at work. So there's a few things. As long as if you're very passionate about something, I think that's more important than having these followers that fuck off. Maybe they should, like I don't think that you should worry about that because I think, and I'm sure you don't. I just think that it's you want the people that are following you to be organic and actually be, committed to the band, right, and committed to your cause. So I love that.
Making it personal
Thank you.
too. Like we just had National Day of Mourning on April 28th for
Yeah, I
people
posted
like
about
your
it. Yeah.
So I went for my father. So my father is still with me, but he's an injured worker, and I had my family in town, and we're actually able to all go and support him because it's a bit of a tough day.
course.
It's heavy, but it's important for us to talk about it and to support people. And there's a whole other dynamic after becoming a mother. I just care in such a deeper level for men because of my son. Like it's just beyond anything I could even explain for before. I've always had to care for people and community, and but when you have your own kid and you
Growing
see
these
the
little
suffering,
humans, and the world that they're growing up in, you want to make sure that it's inclusive for everyone and safe for everyone. And I see it changing, from when we were younger, but it's still, there's always things to
explaining to people that some people go to work and they don't come home.
it's wild.
And it still happens today in Canada. This isn't something that happens in other countries or other,
Happens 10 times a day in North America.
Yeah.
10 times a day, someone dies at work.
There was over 900 flags for National Day of Mourning. They place Canadian flags on the path to where they do the ceremony at Vincent Massey, and that's the actual flag represents a person. So and past as well, like people who've already gone, they have memorials for them as well.
Nice.
You were at Vincent Massey
Yeah,
yesterday?
it's wonderful.
28th.
It's a wonderful thing that they do. Yeah, and it's not just like I said, as like my brother happened to unfortunately lose his life, but it's for the ill, it's for the people that were injured, it's for many different causes. So yeah, I posted about it yesterday, and I'm glad you went because that's really great, and it's a guy that I miss every day for sure. He was we're masculine men, but we have a soft side because we have sisters, and we know that you have to be very inclusive in many ways. And I've learned a lot even since I was a kid, because I was, a 90s guy, like I grew up in the 90s, really like 80s and 90s. But when you're a boy, you were told not to cry. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. Dog went through it even more so because he's a bit older. But, I think that now being inclusive and also showing emotion and still being able to have your masculine side is an important part of being a male.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important. I think that it's very important to keep in touch with your feelings and at least show them when you have to, don't hold them in.
Yeah.
Don't hold them in, bro.
So many men suffer because of that, and that they feel like they have to hold them in, and we need to smash that too, right? And know that men can talk to other women and other men and just be able to not feel like you need to man up. Like I don't know. I think that whole thing is not.
It's actually quite brutal.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of inequality with what women go through. But as I've learned more about it and have a lot of men in my life, and I love you guys, and the stuff that you go through really is brutal. To just as a basic human understanding of your emotions, you were taught just know.
Yeah, don't cry. Don't just suck it up. But
it took me years.
It's damaging.
I didn't. Yeah, and I didn't cry at my brother's funeral. I didn't cry at my dad's funeral. I didn't cry at it was just inherited because that was what you were taught. And I think that that's a stigma that has to go away. And I love that you acknowledge it. And listen, women go through a lot more shit than men, but I do like that you mentioned that. So thank you.
We also need emotionally stable men at our sides. Not ones who
I have daughters. I want them to see a man that's can put up the Christmas lights, but also cry about it.
It's a beautiful. It is a beautiful thing, and it doesn't emasculate at all. Honestly, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think that. No. They'll be like, she's gonna leave me. She'll never look at me again. It's like, no, we look at you with respect. Yeah.
It's the opposite. When you're too masculine, it's good to be. Your masculine qualities are important, but it's when you're too much, it's almost like a turn off. You're not wet for days, bro.
No, we actually have the song.
If you say so.
For days.
Yeah. We have a question. Dog was going to ask. We ask everybody in every band and everything. We've all 104 bands that we've interviewed. 105. So Doggy has a question.
We ask which genre do you prefer? Or what decade? My bad.
Come on, man.
80s or 90s?
You said 80s or 90s?
I know, and I ruined that.
80s or 90s as a decade.
Decade of music.
You can't pick anything else.
90s for me. I was born in 87, so I grew up in the 90s, and that's
fair enough.
Well, it's a hard one though. I was all about the 80s dance parties, but I'm just gonna be. I love the 90s road trip jams. So I don't know. It's a super toss up, 50-50 for me. So you asked a decade.
Yeah. Do you prefer 80s or 90s?
Probably more 80s though. I prefer the future.
There you go.
The one that hasn't come yet. Right? That's the reaction. Ian prefers a future decade than we haven't quite yet.
Oh, you want the AI music?
With the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, that's awful. AI music. Yeah, the 80s. I think the 80s for sure.
Nice. Well, good choices. Doggy got one on the board, but
I did. I'm making a comeback.
Dog's 80s, I'm 90s, so
that's
why we ask it. We do a 90s show too, Tuesday nights.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
You play all genres on it?
He's actually gonna play your music whenever it's
when it's recorded.
Yeah, he does a Wednesday show. It's called In the Kitchen, and he plays all local artists. So you should check it out. 7 to 9 whitewaterrocks.ca.
That's awesome. Thanks for doing that.
Okay, so you guys suck to talk to, so we're gonna shut her down.
Yeah, it's just been really painful, and we're done.
Yeah, we
No,
did
we
stop.
really we loved every minute of it. We appreciate your time, and
Thank you
for
guys. This is really
thank you
sweet.
not only for making amazing music, but actually having purpose behind it. Like that's why I like all of that. All that's great stuff.
Thank you.
But thank you.
This was really great. This
Thank
was
you.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, dog.
Thank you, guys.
You good?
I'm good.
You had to leave, eh, bud?
I did.
You had an
Yeah.
important phone call?
No, it was, that's my meds mess with my internal system, and sometimes,
Okay, enough.
and
Well,
sometimes I don't want to be,
really.
I don't want to be wet for days up here.
Oh, wet for days up here. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. We love you guys. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
We'll follow
Thanks so
you
much.
and tag you and all that stuff. And I can't wait to meet you personally. And I know that Dog has, or he saw you personally.
I saw you. I didn't introduce myself
Yeah.
because
Oh,
being,
I
being
knew
the,
who you
being
were,
the
though.
introvert that I am.
Yeah, Dog's not the one that'll come up to you and say hi. Like he'll love your music and stand afar, but I'll be like right in your face. I have
I'll look
no
for the
shame.
beard.
Yeah, I recognize
yeah,
you.
exactly.
Next time, come say hi. But thanks for coming to that show. I really appreciate it.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Well, stay with us just for a couple of minutes, and then we'll shut her down.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Doug and Gus, Doug and Gus, Doug and Gus.